This is section 2.2, and we're going to talk about solving linear equations. Now, an equation is a statement that has two mathematical expressions that are equal, and they always have an equal sign in there. So if we're solving linear equations, there's several ways we can do that, but when they say symbolically, they mean do that by hand the way that you've probably done them. So if this were our original equation, we want to distribute on the left, and then we have this on the right still. Then we want to get our x's together, so I'm going to subtract 2x over here, and subtract this 2x to here, and that leaves me 1x minus 12 equals negative 1. Then I'm going to add 12 to both sides. That gives me x equals 11, and that would be the solution. Now, what we can do also is solve graphically, and we'll be using our calculator to do that. So if you were given this equation for this section, you can put this left side in y1, the second side in y2, and the only point that they intersect at is 1, 3, so the solution is x equals 1. That's the only place where those two parts are equal. So it's a matter of using our calculator, which we will do, and we'll go through that, but that's exactly the way. Then there are numerical solutions. It's a little bit more tedious, and we'll do one of the problems, and we'll go through that in the problem set. So let's just go to the problem set and see what we've got there. All right, so number 1, how many solutions are there to ax plus b equals 0? That's a linear equation. There's only one solution for that. Apply the distributive property and simplify the expression. So that means this negative is going to get distributed in here. So we have negative 6x plus 4, and then we have a plus 7. You'll combine the 4 and the 7, and you have negative 6x plus 11. Determine if the given equation is linear or nonlinear by trying to write it in the form ax plus b equals 0. So what we're going to do there is get this 4 point, they're wanting us to solve that, but we could do a couple of things to try and solve it the way they're talking about. So if we're trying to get to ax plus b equals 0, we can subtract 8 from both sides, and then that will leave 0 on the right, and we'll have 7x minus 12.9 on the left. So that is a linear expression. All right, determine whether this one's linear. So we want to do the same thing. We get x over here. Now, I didn't move that all over. I can do that. So if we're following that same format, x plus 12 equals 0, so that is linear. All right, determine if this one is linear or nonlinear. So what I want to point out, this square root of x, that square root of x looks like this when you graph it. That's definitely not a linear equation. Solve this one symbolically. Like I said, that's doing it by hand, so we will add 7 to the other side, and we'll divide by 5, and you get x equals 7. Solve this one. We're going to distribute this 9 to both sides, to both parts in the parentheses, and we get 3x. After we add this, subtract, I'll get it right in a minute, subtract this 9x over here, so we've got 3x equals negative 9, divide by 3, and you have x equals negative 3. All right, same thing here. We're going to distribute this 5, and we have 5 minus 20x plus 5 equals 5x. We're going to add the 5 and 5 to get this 10. Then we're going to add 20x to the other side to move that. 25x equals 10. We'll divide by 25, and we will reduce, dividing 5 into both the top and bottom, and we get 2/5. So you're just doing that you're used to doing. We'll do the same thing with number 9. Do the distributions, collect like terms, and you get x equals 2/3. Now number 10 says a linear equation is solved by the intersection of graphs. So all they did was give you a picture, and then you see where it's intersecting, and that point is 3, 2. You'll be able to see that better on your computer when it's enlarged. But you just want the x value. So 3 goes here. The next one is a little different. This is a line that they've given you, and they're saying solve the solution to f of x is -1 if x is. So we go to where, here's your y-axis, and we go to f of x is -1. That's right here. And we go up till we're on the line, and right there we are at, let's see, I just said that backwards. Okay, so here is y equals -1. Where does that intersect my line? Right here at x equals -5. For y equals 0, we're going to go right on the x-axis, and where it hits that line, there is -4. Solution to y equals 2, here's y equals 2. It hits our line at x equals -2. So you are looking at the y lines, which I drew in red, and where do they hit this line that is given? On this one, solve it graphically. So use the graphing tool to draw graphs of the functions and find the solution. So on the left side, you would have 2x plus 6. On this side, you would have x plus 4. So here is x plus 4. Here's the 2x plus 6. You graph those two lines. They intersect. They should intersect where x is -2. It'll be a little easier to do that on your computer. All right, the last one of these is solving it numerically, and I said it was a little bit more tedious. It is. I've given you screenshots. So for this one, if you go to your calculator and you go to y equals and put that in just like it is up here, so you've got that graph. Then if you go to your table, and we want to set up our table, if you go to, let me pull this calculator up here. Table set is right above the window key, so if you go to second and table set, that's what you want, and you want to change the increments that it's going to 0.1. So you'll do that, and that way they'll change to 0.1. So now when we're looking at that, let me move the calculator over. Where is there a change? Right here, there's a negative and a positive. That means that y is crossing over the x-axis there when you go from a positive to a negative. So it's between 0.2 and 0.3. We want to get a little bit closer. So you go back into the table set and change that increment to 0.01. Remember, it was 0.1. So we'll change it to 0.01. When we come down again, we see that it changes between 0.2 and 0.21, 0.20 and 0.21, but we're going to round to the nearest tenth. So you just need to do that many times and round to the nearest tenth, and it'll be 0.2 will be our answer there. And so I can put that in for us, but that's the answer that's right there. Let's put it in the box. And so we've got it there, and that one's a little tedious, but you can do it. Just follow along with those screenshots. That should do you.